Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I like to talk about this little thing and the reason why I got it. Now, this particular model, it doesn't matter on what I'm talking about. I'm going to go over the features of this particular model, but some of the things I'm talking about are going to be... sorry, I'm trying to straighten this guy up. Some of the things I'm going to talk about are going to be universal to any laser rangefinder type thing. Alright, so it's got an optics here and then a laser portion over there. The laser portion is non-harm. It's invisible, but it's not harmful to humans or pets or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about it. See, the problem with invisible laser, if it's high enough power, your eyes are not squinting down to block it out. Your retina's just like your cornea. What is that? Anyways, it's just your iris is completely open up because it's invisible. You don't even know it's there. And if it's powerful enough, like one of the ones I worked on in Nikon stepper machines for lithography, one of their positioning things used invisible lasers to know exactly where the table would move around. Ooh, this is good. These are like IC chips on a wafer. So the wafer goes in there, it's round, but I mean in this case this is exactly what you get, a square. The reticle is square and everything. They have these patterns of particular circuits that they're going to go over each time, and they print it. Well, by positioning it, they step that with a very stabilized, very precise table that moves, you know, like in a raster scan or something. It goes at a very high speed because, you know, everything's they want to do everything fast. And so if you're working on that, normally there's interlocks and everything, but if you're working on it and it's powered up and you don't have the right goggles on, an invisible laser beam could bounce off or reflect off one of your shiny instruments or something, and right into your eye. That's why there's one spot in my eye that's like a little pinhole, just a little pinhole black, totally black spot. I mean, it doesn't move around. It's just there. That's a laser burn, you know, I mean, basically a retina burn. You don't have to worry about that with this. I don't know why I went all through all that. Now, why did I get this? Well, mainly I wanted a monocular, but with the laser rangefinder, you get the added benefit of knowing how far away distances are. Now, this one is like a 6.5 power, I believe, monocular in here, and you just focus it to where it works with your eyes. I can actually use this without glasses and see clearly. So that's another advantage right there that a lot of people that don't think about, but man, being able to see clearly. And the other one is, it's just got two buttons here. One is a power on and the other is a mode button. And there's like 3 different modes. I can't find the manual. Imagine that. I can't find the manual, but we'll go through the specs and everything. I just want to go through some of the things that are not really in the manual. Look at this. You know, those magnetic. This is cool, man. It's not Velcro. It's magnetic. So you can do it quietly. There's no... It's probably never going to wear out, you know. Isn't that cool? Where have we seen that before? Rough Rider boxes, knife boxes. They have that little knife flap. That's exactly what's going on here. That's pretty cool. This fits in here perfectly. Like this. Goes in there. I put the little lanyard. It comes with a lanyard, a USB cable, because it's USB-C rechargeable. There's a little red light that comes on. I'll show you all the little... Here's the port. But it also fits perfectly in The whole thing can fit in a molly. You gotta go tight and everything, but it's a molly frag pouch. What is it? Molly 2 hand grenade pouch. NSN 8465-01-525-0589er. Yeah. Oh, you can see all that right there. But it fits in one of those perfectly fine, and the reason for that is molly attachment. This has got a little, you know, it's a serviceable belt loop and everything, but if you want to put it in something that's got, you know, even better carrying capabilities, you get one of those. And you can attach it anywhere. Now, it's a tight fit. You have to get this guy up like this. You have to go, you mash it like that. I mean, it eventually snaps and holds it down. And then pink. And pink. It's kind of, you know, you have to kind of nesting dolls, Russian nesting dolls. Pull that out, and then eventually got it. There's a little scallop in here for your hand for orientation. I tend to do it like this. I goof up. I think this is the way it's supposed to be, but it's more like that. So I don't know what that does. It doesn't come on or anything. I don't know what that is. It's just a mounting thing, I think. But yeah, you look through the. I think we can see it through here. You look through it here, and it's just, without touching any buttons, it's just a 6-power monocular. Why would you want one of those? Man, it fits right in your hand. I've got binoculars. I've got all kinds of binoculars. I used to even have a little 8 by 35, you know, the little ones. But now, man, even the cheap ones are, what used to be the cheap ones are super expensive. These are some Ruski binoculars here. And then this is these are probably my best ones here. This is a Tasco knockoff of a Steiner. They had 7 by 50 and they had 10 by 50. But these are almost night vision capable. They really have good optics in them. And then this is just a regular old Tasco. But you can see all of these, even this one, it's fairly bulky. You know, if you're going to want biking or whatever, but you still want to observe things, that's what I'm mainly using, is observe things, and then measuring distance. That helps for airsoft, figuring out how far away the yards is. It makes a big difference. You know, the difference between 20 yards and 50 yards in airsoft may not mean much to you, but it can mean the difference between you can hit it and you can't hit it, whatever you're shooting at. You know, so, and it's the same way with golf. That's what a lot of people use these for. It also has another. So you come on, you got a regular mode, and it has a reticle in there, and it'll tell you actually how high up you are. It'll calculate the different angles and all that stuff, because ballistically and stuff, when you're aiming down, the line of sight distance may be this, but you have to also factor in the height you are from that. And it's the same way, the angle. If you're shooting up, especially if with a gun, it's going to go, you're going to have to hold over or under a little bit more than you would expect, depending on whether you're going with gravity or against gravity. It's going to be different. And the actual yardage that you would shoot is that, you know, plus that. And it tells you all that. It just calculates it for you. You don't have to do all that stuff in your head. You can just look at it. Like before, I know exactly what 100 yards looks like, or I used to. But your eyes get old, and you forget things, and you forget distance and everything else like that. With this, it knows exactly how far something is away from the object. It's a little laser beam. It gets out there, and it bounces back. And it has its limitations, you know, like a lot of them. This thing goes down when it's in rain or fog and stuff like that, or smoke. Because the beam, you know, it's going to get diffused or bounced around and stuff like that. This one, I'll put the distance on it from what the specifications say, but It's basically from 3 yards, pretty close, out to, it's not 1,000-yard one, but around there. It's like 800 and something. And that's good enough for me because I mainly wanted to measure the distance when I'm doing beam shots back there. Is it 100 yards away? And I kind of roughly estimated that by calculating the spacings of the cars, you know. If each one is uniform and they did this, if, then that's approximately blah, 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 you know. Now I know exactly, you know, between the blue dumpster and the back parking lot, between those two, I stood there. I mean, I was off a little bit, but it's 100 yards between that one and that one. So the whole back parking lot is about 100 yards long. So that helps me. Then I know, you know, well, halfway through this is this, and then, you know, the distance from even standing by that back blue dumpster and looking back in that wall back there, there's a little brick thing. That thing is 175 yards away. I don't remember where I was measuring from. It's very cold out there, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of actual stuff right now. I'm just going over how useful I find this thing, what I'm using it for. Mainly, like, there's cat fights going on. The colony has changed since Buddy's gone and Mama Cat's gone. But there are more characters come in. You know, the characters change, but the story's the same. It's cats establishing dominance, looking around, seeing what's happening. There's a new one, a yellow and white type of cat. He's male. He's run into Stripeface, who's also male. They argue and talk and actually physically fight a lot. I had to break one up the other night just by firing near him. 44 yards away with an airsoft pistol. Of course I didn't hit him, but it achieved its effect because Stripeface knows that sound. And the BB wound up hitting the brick wall over there. So it not only made the sound, it went tink, and that was enough to get them to scatter. I didn't need it full auto. I didn't need to actually hit them. It was just the sound, and that's mainly what I got that for, is to break them up. And since it was at night and everybody was asleep, it worked fairly well. Nobody was walking around like I do it during the day. He's shooting at me. He has a gun. Officer. Shoot him, and then ask him what he was doing. Yeah, there are a lot of Karens even in this compound and stuff, so I got to be careful what I'm doing, even on my back porch. But I do find this very useful, very helpful, identifying, you know, because to me, from a distance with just my glasses, I can identify that, yeah, he's a yellow and white cat. But sometimes there's a yellow cat with a fluffy head, you know, and then there's a tabby cat with an ear chewed up. And then there's Stripeface, but then there's a mama cat that looks a lot like him, but she's smaller. But she has the same stripe-looking face, you know. And she doesn't usually come down that area. But still, it's nice to know how far away something is with something that I mainly got as just a little fixed monocular. It's not super great for night vision. And what you get through here is not, it doesn't glow in the dark. It's an LCD display that you're looking at. So the higher light output that you're working with this, the better contrast you get and the more you can see in there. The darker it is, you can still see things, but when you push this button, it gives you like a little reticle. And that's letting you know this is where I'm going to aim. And then if you just momentarily push it on the power one, it'll just send a pulse. You can constant hold it on, and it'll, you know, constantly measure. Like it can measure speed. I haven't done that too well, but that is another mode. So it comes up with the first one with the angle and everything else. Then it comes up with the speed one, and it comes in kilometers per hour. I haven't figured out how to change that one. The yardage one I can change easily, but the one for speed is kilometers per hour. And here I'm in America. I don't know what. I've got a rough idea. I've lived in overseas, and I've dealt with, you know, the metric system before, but it's just not natural for me. Anyways, it would just be, how fast is that cat running? You know, And then there's a third mode which just does just the yardage or something. It doesn't goof around a lot on it. It doesn't throw all that other up there. But it's a very good system here, and you don't necessarily need to get the super expensive ones. I like this one right here. When you take this little port off right here, you get a USB-C. I was charging it with a solar panel. There's a little LED, that right there is a little LED light. It's red, constant red when you plug it in. And when it's finished, I think it turns green. I believe it turns green. And then that, makes it, I don't know what its waterproof rating is, but you have to do that. You have to mash it. And then there's your little lanyard thing. And this is the brand. And like I said, it's dirty and everything. But they give you a little lens cleaning cloth with it or something like that. This is not it, I don't think. But something like that so you can keep your optics clean. Because if you get, it's a laser rangefinder, so you can, lens camera brush, you can do it in there and then airbrush it out and everything. But like I said, I find it very, very handy and useful. And it's just something that you don't think about that much. But if you want to save weight and you want like two things in one, you've got an optics and a rangefinder. Something like, some of them have, they can measure from a flag how far away, it is, how far what the wind speed is at your tee off hole and all that. I'm not going to use it for golfing. There we go. Run my trap long enough. I'll put a link up to this. Again, I'm not sponsored by this. If I put the link up there, it's just the one that I got. And again, I don't know this company, if it's from the actual company or an Amazon seller. If they rip you off or something, or the one you got was junk, talk to them about it, because I had nothing to do with it. This is simply just where I bought it from. They didn't sponsor me. They didn't ask me, hey, if you sponsor this, if you do this one right here, we'll give it to you, but you got to give us a positive review. So I give it a positive review, and it's not because they paid me. It's just that I like it. There's probably better ones out there. There's probably cheaper ones, probably ones with more capabilities or whatever. But for my needs, this works, and I find it useful. So if you find one useful, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.